Welcome to Insightful Gaming. Brace yourselves for an absolutely stunning build that we have in store for you today. This isn't just any regular build, it's a storm waiting to unleash. Picture this. Rooms full of enemies being vaporized by electrifying waves, dealing colossal damage and rapidly regenerating all your abilities while your Arc Soul obliterates your adversaries. But wait, it gets even better. With this build, you can summon an endless stream of healing rifts and grenades, essentially turning you into an unstoppable destructive force. All this power comes to life with a single Warlock exotic, the extraordinary Vesper of the Radius. There are also fragments in the mix that further enhance the might of this build. We're going to dissect this build meticulously, covering everything from the overall gameplay and execution, to the abilities, aspects, fragments, armor mods, and finally, the all-new seasonal mods introduced in Season of the Deep. If this build has you excited and you're eager to try out other strong builds like this one, make sure to browse through the Season 21 playlist. And if you found this build valuable, don't forget to give this video a like, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and hit that subscribe button to stay updated on more thrilling builds and Destiny content. Before diving into the build, let's thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Experience stunning visuals, mighty champions, tough PvE bosses, and strategic PvP gameplay. Raid Shadow Legend has just celebrated its 4th anniversary, and to celebrate it, let's imagine a memorable dinner party featuring my top 4 champions. First, 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘, the charming healer ensuring everyone's well-fed. Next, 𝗕𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘, whipping up icy desserts to keep things cool. Then, 𝗕𝗘𝗠𝗕𝗘𝗥, the barbecue master, grilling mouth-watering meals. Lastly, 𝗕𝗘𝗠𝗘𝗥, the party animal, bringing non-stop fun. Together, they create an unforgettable night. Now it's your turn. Tell me your dream raid dinner party guests in the comments and check out Raid Shadow Legends for an epic champion lineup. Raid Call of the Arbiter is now live. To celebrate this new series, Raid is adding 3 new playable champions. The first one is 𝗕𝗘𝗥, the mighty orc warlord. Just log into Raid for 7 days before July 24. If you've watched episode 1, you'll want 𝗕𝗘𝗥. If not, go watch it and then log in to claim 𝗕𝗘𝗥. Don't miss Raid's thrilling action. If you haven't started playing, use my link or QR code for awesome bonuses like epic champion Drake and more. Find me in-game as iGaming, join my clan, and let's dominate the battlefield together. Now let's get into the build. Our ultimate goal with this build is to fully harness your abilities, particularly your healing rift, to deal maximum damage and maintain control in the heat of battle. Our star player is Vesper of Radius with its distinctive exotic perk, Planetary Torrent. This perk supercharges your rifts, causing them to emit frequent arc shockwaves. When these shockwaves land the killing blow, they trigger an arc explosion. Furthermore, these shockwaves and ensuing explosions blind nearby enemies, and the icing on the cake. If you're surrounded by enemies, your rift energy recharges at a heightened pace. The gameplay strategy is straightforward yet effective, all revolving around your rift, boosted by our exotic. To kick off our combo, initiate the fight by tossing your grenade to blind and jolt your foes. The jolt effect sparks a chain lightning reaction, hitting nearby enemies and possibly stunning overload champions. Additionally, defeating shocked enemies will spawn extra ionic traces. Next, choose a strategic location and deploy your rift. This will not only generate frequent arc shockwaves to obliterate nearby enemies, but it will also trigger blinding explosions. Upon activating your healing rift, several key events unfold. Firstly, our fragments grant you increased resilience when you're engaged in close combat with enemies, effectively making you more resistant to damage. Moreover, this action also replenishes your grenade and melee energy. Be sure to use your melee ability whenever it's available and keep eliminating enemies with your primary weapon for more explosive outcomes. This forms the crux of the gameplay loop. Throw a grenade, deploy the healing rift, follow up with melee attacks while your primary weapon keeps the rhythm. The seamless integration of these abilities creates a smooth rotation for optimal gameplay. To top it all off, the abundant ionic traces produced by defeating jolted targets and using our weapons makes returning to the rotation a breeze. This surplus of ionic traces enables you to kickstart the gameplay loop again effortlessly, fostering a relentless and potent playstyle. Moving forward, let's unpack the abilities that supercharge this build. To begin with, our super. We have 2 formidable choices on the table. The first is Storm Trance, a roaming super that recently received a significant power boost. Yet, from my experience, it didn't quite hit the mark. My personal bias leans towards Chaos Reach, a super that delivers its might in one concentrated burst. With Chaos Reach, you unleash a concentrated beam of arc energy that relentlessly damages a single enemy. As the damage accrues, lightning strikes electrify the enemy's surroundings. You have the power to cut off Chaos Reach early, preserving valuable super energy. When it comes to bosses, Chaos Reach truly shines, while Storm Trance is your go-to option for clearing out mobs of enemies. Switching gears to grenades, our weapon of choice is the Flashbang Grenade. This explosive device detonates and blinds nearby enemies, crucial for maintaining control on the battlefield and executing killer combos in this build. Alternatively, you could also use Pulse Grenades as you get comfortable with the build. For our melee, we are using Chain Lightning. Next in line is our class ability, the powerful Healing Rift. This ability enables us to generate a rift that delivers continuous healing to those within its radius. The entire strategy of this build revolves around the Healing Rift, occasionally stacking multiple rifts in a single location for maximum effect. This harmonizes beautifully with our exotic armor, the Vesper of the Radius. When equipped, each rift you generate emits arc shockwaves every second, dealing 300 damage and pushing enemies away. Additionally, landing a final blow with these shockwaves triggers an arc explosion. If you're equipped with an arc subclass, these shockwaves and subsequent explosions also blind nearby enemies. The icing on the cake with Vesper of the Radius is its ability to accelerate your rift energy recharge rate when surrounded by enemies. Now, shifting gears, let's delve into the aspects. Our first cornerstone is the Arc Soul, a unique companion that emerges every time you activate a Healing Rift. This electrified ally does more than merely follow you around. It zaps enemies, thinning out the opposition while layering on additional damage. Plus, each time our electric ally vanquishes an enemy, it generates ionic traces. These traces fuel our ability energy. Even better, if your rift is supercharged, your Arc Souls morph into powerhouses with an increased fire rate, boosting their efficacy. Essentially, our rifts serve a dual purpose. They provide healing, and through our Arc Souls and our exotic, they deliver some serious firepower. Next, we introduce our second aspect, the Electrostatic Mind. This aspect revolves entirely around the ionic traces. We rely heavily on them to maintain our gameplay rotation. Generate these beneficial traces by defeating enemies with your arc abilities or eliminating a jolted or blinded foe. Each ionic trace you gather amplifies you and helps recharge your abilities. This translates to faster availability of your Healing Rift and Arc Soul companions. The Electrostatic Mind is the driving force of our build, fueling our ability production, which is pivotal to our gameplay cycle. With our configuration, we'll maintain constant blindness on our enemies, resulting in a plentiful supply of ionic traces. Stepping into our next segment, we've chosen 4 fragments that integrate seamlessly with the abilities we've been discussing. Starting with the Spark of Resistance, this fragment increases your damage resistance when you are surrounded by foes. Pair this with our seasonal mod, Amped Up, which grants us extra resistance while amplified. Our total damage resistance in this build surpasses 60%. That's Amped Up plus the 30% resistance from 100 Resilience and Spark of Resistance. Next up, we are using Spark of Instinct and Spark of Recharge fragments. Both of these fragments are activated when you are critically wounded. Since this build encourages being at the heart of the action, these 2 fragments are essential for your survival. With Spark of Instinct, an arc energy burst is unleashed, jolting enemies. Plus, with Spark of Recharge, your grenade charges faster when you are critically wounded. This means when you are low in health, you will have blinding grenades ready so you can duck out of danger. Finally, we have Spark of Ions. Defeating a jolted target creates an ionic trace. Alternatively, you could also use Spark of Shock if you decide to not use blinding grenades. Remember, this build is about playing with intensity and speed. It may require some practice to perfect, but the key will be strategic rift placement and swift responses when enemies get uncomfortably close. Get ready for some rapid button pressing, tossing grenades and deploying your Healing Rift for both defense and offense. Transitioning to our arsenal, it's crucial we equip weapons that truly maximize this build's potential. First on our list is the latest auto rifle, the Centrifuge. There are a couple of compelling reasons for this choice. Firstly, auto rifles are the reigning champions this season, making Centrifuge an intuitive choice. While I haven't yet secured the catalyst for this weapon, I can assure you it will significantly enhance its power. Another appealing aspect of this exotic is its impeccable synergy with our build. It features an intrinsic perk, Overcharge Capacitor. Landing a final blow with this weapon triggers a blinding explosion. Given that blinding enemies is the cornerstone of our build, this aspect becomes crucial in high-stakes content like Masters and Grandmasters. Furthermore, this weapon's reload is almost non-existent thanks to the regenerative motion perk. Sprinting gradually reloads the weapon. Another worthy weapon for your consideration is the Trinity Ghoul. Its signature trait, Lightning Rod, ensures your next shot releases chain lightning upon precision kills. We're all aware of this exotic's power, and its synergy with our build makes it a superb choice for demanding content like Master and Grandmaster. When it comes to the heavy slot, it's down to your personal choice. Now, let's shift gears and dive into the intricate details of our armor mods, each of which serves a pivotal role in our setup. Starting with the helmet, we've equipped Arc Siphon. It ensures that rapid final blows with your arc weapon produce orbs of power. These orbs not only fuel your super, but thanks to our other armor mods, they also rejuvenate your abilities, grenades, and melee energy. We're also running Dynamo, which slices off some cooldown time of your super each time you use your class ability in proximity to enemies. Considering this is a primarily close to mid-range build, you'll reap the benefits rapidly. Lastly, we have the Heavy Ammo Finder mod, which increases the chances of heavy ammo drops on kills. Utilizing an exotic primary weapon will boost your chances of securing heavy ammo. Moving on to the gauntlets, we're employing Bolstering Detonation. This mod rewards class ability energy every time you deal damage with a grenade. We also have Impact Induction, which trims down your grenade's cooldown every time you land a melee attack. Additionally, we're using Focusing Strike. It bestows class ability energy each time you inflict damage with a melee attack. For the chest armor, I suggest defensive mods that align with your style. I've personally chosen Arc Resistance, Concussive Dampener, and Void Resistance. Considering the close and personal melee encounters this build entails, these prove invaluable. Next, we outfit our boots with Innervation. This mod reduces your grenade's cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. We also have Invigoration, which similarly diminishes your melee's cooldown each time you collect an orb of power. Lastly, we're utilizing Elemental Charge, a fresh armor mod from Season 21. This mod offers an escalating chance to receive an armor charge when collecting Ionic Trace. Given the torrent of Ionic charges we'll be generating, this mod is a definite must-have. Finally, for our Warlock bond, we're running dual utility kickstart mods. Combined, these will replenish 31% of your Rift energy when fully used. Considering our other mods also contribute substantially to Rift energy replenishment, you'll be able to frequently use this ability when swarmed by enemies or prepping for a fight. Doubling down on these mods is vital for swift Rift regeneration. Lastly, we're also incorporating a Bomber mod, which will chip away at your grenade's cooldown each time you use your class ability. Now, let's talk about the potent seasonal mods. While these are not necessary, they will enhance your overall effectiveness of this build. To kick things off, we have 5 different variations of anti-champion mods. Pick one of each type anti-champion mod for the build. Moving to the second row, we chose an authorized mods Arc and Melee. These gems significantly discount the energy costs of all armor mods affecting your melee and arc abilities. In the third row, key mods include Electric Armor, allowing you to stay amplified longer while your arc subclass is equipped, and Thunderous Retort, granting bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or amplified, lasting until the end of the super activation. Both very important for our build. In the fourth column, essential mods for our build include Counter Charge, providing a stack of armor charge when you stun a champion, and Amped Up, offering damage resistance while amplified. Finally, in the fifth row, we need Shock and Awe, which summons a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets with arc final blows while you are amplified. Squad Goals is next, which grants Amplified to nearby allies when performing a finisher while you are amplified and your arc subclass is equipped. Lastly, we're adding Lightning Strikes twice. After throwing an arc grenade, you gain increased grenade recharge for a short time, with arc final blows extending the duration of this benefit. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this build and found it helpful, don't forget to smash that like button, drop comment below, and subscribe to our channel for more exhilarating builds and gaming content. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic rest of your week.